Calling all beings. Calling all beings.
Man. Yeah. Welcome back to Calling All Beings. I'm your host, DJ. Oh, I've got Sarah Shock and Horror is going to join us. So there we go. She's going to jump on. Very special night tonight. Welcome back to Calling All Beings. It's a while. I miss being on air, and I must being on air with my homie. And right there, you know what I'm talking about. Boston Beer.
Wow. It feels like it's been forever. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, and we got a lot of shows planned, man. We got UFOs.
Oh, yeah. We're cooking up some stuff.
Let me tell you let's just go over what we got for you before we start talking about my friend Mikey. Okay. We got big stuff for you. And my co-host is about to announce some of it because she's going to be driving the bus. She's going to put the bus driver's cap on. So coming up this weekend, we got UFOs with Nathan, Deb, Courtney, and a guy named Eric Wargo who has spoken he's been on with all the big shows, TV and the whole nine yards. He is a thought leader, and we just had major UFO hearings yesterday. So we're going to be getting into that this Sunday at, I want to say it's 1 p.m. my time, so 3 p.m. y'all's time in Massachusetts. Then, let's see. So next weekend is Sean, right? Am I correct? No. Okay. Next is the mom show. Okay. So, make sure I got this right. No, It's next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, big show. Let my homie Boston Bia tell you about what she finna do.
Well, as we covered the Amy Bradley story, and from there, I started a conversation with some moms. So we're going to have some very cool moms up in here talking all the stuff. So
basically it's going to be FKR true crime moms that are going to be talking about true crime related issues related to the safety of teenagers, etc. So tell us who you're going to have on.
So we have Nan Gallagher, we have Meredith, and we have the amazing Grace from Dream Feed Media.
Yeah, Grayson has been on air twice. Now it will be 2 times, and they've both been on Calling All Beings. And in addition, there are people, I haven't even looked at the chat. So, Oh my God, let's see. So Julie's here, Mark Cunningham from Dean College.
Yes.
Captain Cherry Harris. Hello, Captain. Or I should do the British. Do the British salute. Noodles Mama is here. And I saw your post earlier. One love to this gentleman who was shot today. Charlie Kirk. And this, if nothing else, will highlight to you the danger of partisan politics as it is. This is it. So anybody who kind of fans those flames of the Republicans are evil or Democrats are evil, they are the problem that led to today, I suspect. UFOs. Yeah, we're going to have UFOs. Look who's here. It's a legend. Bids, hello, everybody. Changes, turn and face the strain. Changes. I want to be a richer man. I don't remember all the words of that song. We got to play some David Bowie up in here. I might stitch in a little bit of David Bowie. But anyway, let's get, I guess, and then after that, we have Sean McDonough and Terry Robbins, the legend from Dean College. So Sean is going to talk. We have some specific questions we want to ask Sean that being 30 years in 35
law
years.
enforcement. Law enforcement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to butt in just to say it.
Just like Dr. Marie Russell. Let's get it again.
Law enforcement.
Law enforcement. Something that's someone else I have to go on. So you need to get to work on that one. Dr. Maria Russell.
Oh,
I want
she
to
was
have,
actually, she's in Boston this weekend. I don't know if you saw it.
there we go. No, I didn't saw it.
Saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in Boston this weekend, giving a speech. So yes, I thought that was super cool that she's coming back to Massachusetts, and literally it's on dog bites. Like, how insane.
And what an idiot Hank Brennan is as a suffix, as
Wow.
a sort of a prologue. All right. So then Boston Bia will be chasing down Boston Marie Russell this weekend for an interview on Cab, is what I heard. I don't know if you guys heard the same thing.
No.
All right. Let's get to the meat and taters of this, and let's talk about my friend Mikey. Coming into the community as Calling All Beings, I came in as a solo person because the other cabbies are not into true crime, to be perfectly frank. Courtney has some interest, but the other cabbies do not. And Nathan, being the co-creator of Calling All Beings, did not want to do true crime. And I came into Karen Reed, and what I needed and what this show needed was to be accepted into the community. Because in the absence of that, you are basically on the outside looking in. And so being able to have folks like Mike come on very early on in the show. Did I miss somebody? Hello?
I was just saying hi to Adam and
hi, Adam.
People. Hi,
Excellent.
Adam.
Thank you.
Miss you, buddy.
Hi, Standing Stones. Yeah. And the attorney, Adam Tieper. So, and kind of there's an interesting mix because Adam is an animal advocate, and our friend Mike Crawford is also somebody that is doing direct service to animals. So let's talk about Mike. So Mike is one of the people that welcomed me into the community. He's one of the people that came on several times. Hello, Cheryl with an S. And really was very helpful in getting Cab started and getting us to be able to speak to people and give our brand and our takes on Karen Reed, Turtle Boy, and all the tangential cases we're dealing with. Hello, Dennis Sweeney. Good evening, sir.
Hey, handsome.
The legend. Hello, says Cheryl S. She spelled it out. Nice job, Cheryl. We'll see you on Sunday, October 12th. I know that. So Mike Crawford is he's the guy that made me, he's the first show that I watched. I think even before Turtle Boy's show. Turtle Boy, I heard on podcasts talking about it, not knowing that he had this gigantic YouTube, but I knew that Mike did. And I Googled it and I found Mike and I watched his show. And what I find with Mike Crawford, good evening, Margaret. Welcome back. What I've found with Mike Crawford is this is a gentleman who is constantly in service to somebody. Because when you're a dog owner and you live in an apartment, you're a single dog owner. You have to work all day. You don't have the liberty to bring your dog to work. You feel terrible about your dog because people that just want to leave their dog locked up all day is terrible. My friend Bea here, thank God. Hello, Joanne. Gets to look after her dogs all day long, but not everybody does. And you would feel terrible if you didn't. And so, hi, seriously. So Mike is one of these guys that when you need someone to look after your dog, you can say, hey, can you go and take care of my dog and walk my dog? And you're at work feeling safer, feeling better, feeling like you're not a bad pet parent. Let's face it, because for a lot of us, Bea has kids. I don't have kids. She has pet kids and she has real human kids. All I have are my pet kids. That's all I've got. Hi, Swiss Miss. You're like, hee-hoo. So to me, having somebody like Mike is just, it's enormous, to have someone to look after him. So he performs that service for the community. Then when he's not doing that, he's out there advocating for a Karen Reed, for a Turtle Boy, for a Sandra Birchmore, bringing that case to people's awareness, like mine, Just en Route, and others. all the things. There's other cases that Mike has been involved in that he has advocated for people long before he even knew about Karen Reed. Okay. That is the kind of guy that Mike is. And that is why we're here tonight, is to try to raise some funds for Mike. And Bia's going to give you her thoughts on Mike here in a second. But what's important is that any money that is donated tonight, I encourage you to go directly to Give, Send, Go. Cannabis, exactly. And how many people are suffering from cancer, for which cannabis is something that is the only pain relief that they get. So with that, anything that is donated tonight is going to Mike Crawford, whether you donate it to Calling All Beings or you donate it directly to Give, Send, Go. That's what's happening. So it is pinned to the top of the chat, but if you missed it at the top of the chat, woo! Yeah! That right there, party people, is none other than private investigator Lauren Katie. Can I get a amen? Hi, Lauren. Good.
Whoa.
I forgot to tell everyone that's the other show we're doing. We have the mom show. We have the music show coming up next weekend. That's going to be writer, fighter, journalist, author, singer. Forgot he's a singer of a band that's toured all over Europe. Eugene S. Robinson, attorney Alexei Old from Washington, D.C., graduate of Columbia Law School, and journalist and author John Nash of Show Money podcast. So anyway, that's going to be the music show. Then we have another show we're going to do about missing persons with this lady right down there, Lauren Katie, and Lady Zelda, and of course our new friend, Janet Misdemeanor. So, and Boston Bia. So yeah.
Yeah. Fun times ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lots of good. We went from having no shows to having like 5 shows booked.
Well, this is like life after Karen Reed. It consumed, through two trials, and we're still talking about all the fallout from the Karen Reed trial and the investigators. But yeah, I mean, it's a story that doesn't end.
Never ending, it seems.
There's a question for Boston Bia on the screen.
We even follow Hubert in yes.
Worcester.
Yes. So is Joshua Hubert the one with the teenage girl that jumped off the bridge? Just let me know if that's it.
Yeah, let Bia know, because if there's something they need to cover on that mom show, we need to do it. Thank you very much, Mark Cunningham. Smash the bloody like button, will ya? Smash it. Lisa Oakes is here. Sarah's here. I don't know if that's Shock and Horror. Is that? It might be Shock and Horror. If it is Shock and Horror, she's going to join us at some point this evening. So again, the goal is to raise money for Mike. So Bia, if you would, please give your thoughts about our friend Mike Crawford, and then the private investigator, Lauren Katie.
Yes. So Mike has been a pillar in the community. He's not this flashy guy. He's just this down-to-earth guy that just shows up with his little camera and does his thing. But behind that, simple man is a force to be reckoned with. And I think he's bringing attention to the things that he's passionate about, and he deserves our support. As we know, the First Amendment here in Massachusetts is under attack. We have Turtle Boy going through First Amendment issues, and now Mike's going through this too. They've tried to shut him up in the past, and he took his time off and came back stronger than ever. And he needs us now. So, we're here for Mike today, and, we appreciate any donations to his legal defense fund. And, we're a community that cares about one another, and, we just want to help spread the word, because again, I feel like I sound like a broken record. Journalism is not a crime.
Hold on one second, because we got somebody else we got to welcome in. Put your hands together for attorney Nan Gallagher.
Hey, girl.
Yeah, man.
Hey guys.
And in the chat, the man himself, who we are here to honor and raise money for, is, can I use my Massachusetts accent? Mike Crawford.
Hey. Is
Young
he in the
Jelly
chat?
in the damn building. So,
That's awesome. Hey, Mike.
Hi,
Mike.
Mike.
all right, so we're going around the room. Very eloquently put by my co-host, private investigator Lauren Cady, who obviously, Lauren, we need a show with you and former PI Michelle Littlefield. Like, we need you two on an episode together.
I would love it. Absolutely. Anytime. Anytime.
Please, some words about my colleague, Mike Crawford.
Yeah. So Mike's one of the most like genuine humans that you'll meet. He is, whatever you see is what you get with him. And that's refreshing. And he also like is very loyal to like his friends and also to basically the Constitution, because if anyone was in his shoes, he'd be doing the same thing for them. And so it's just only now for anybody who can to do it for him, because like Pia said, the Constitution is not free in Massachusetts, and it's got to stop. It can happen to anyone. And and it happened to a great guy. And so yeah, that's what we're here for. Raise some money for Mike and to show our support, because we're behind you 100%, Mike. So.
And there it is. It's pinned to the top of the chat. We'll also get it scrolling across the screen. This is Mike Crawford's Legal Defense Fund. And this is not a very complicated legal case, so to speak. But before a layperson like me even comments on it, it just so happens that we have a legal expert in the building. We talking about the one wearing the derby, the Scotswoman, Nan Gallagher.
I got my cabbie hat on, guys. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You should be driving. I should be sitting in the back with a beer. Okay.
Why not? As long as I'm not driving, as long as I'm not driving with a beer, we're good.
Yes.
I can't hold my liquor. How are you guys doing?
Awesome. Awesome. How have you been?
I've been great. I've missed you.
We missed you. It's been a minute. We've just been saying we really haven't done a lot of content because I moved. I think since I've had the studio set up, what have I done? One episode, maybe two?
Yeah.
Since I moved in here, which was August 18th. So yeah, we haven't done a whole lot, but yeah,
DJ,
yes,
purple
ma'am.
is your color. I'm liking that very much. Yeah.
This is a Gallagher in honor of a certain over there. This is a Gallagher shirt I bought in Calle Ocho in yeah.
I love it.
Oh,
great.
Guayabera. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. No,
Guayabera.
Guayabera.
So
Yes.
I know. Actually, and you know what I bought this for is when we had the other Cuban guy, Lou Elizondo, on, the guy from the former Pentagon official. We had him on to talk about UAPs, Luis Elizondo.
Yep.
And that's when I first bought this shirt, actually. So,
And can I ask, does it have 4 pockets, 2 on the top, 2 on the
of
bottom?
course. I mean, come
It's
on.
authentic then.
Yeah, I gotta
All
look
right,
cool,
got it.
man.
All right, cool.
So anyway, you know Lauren Cady. Have you met Lauren Cady?
I think I've met you, Lauren, on the cold, dark streets of Twitter. Possibly?
Yes.
And I've seen you on many streams. You're excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And I, of course, know who you are. So, yeah.
So Nan, can you, we just got a donation we got to bring up. I have 2 things to say. First of all, I want to say, Carla Maria, thank you very much for becoming a member. And I want to thank New Hampshire Dude for donating 20. Everything you donate tonight, I encourage you to give it to Give, Send, Go. Give it to Mike. But everything that you donate tonight is going to Mike Crawford. So if it goes to Cab, it goes to Cab. If it goes to me, if it goes to Bia, it's going to Mike Crawford. But thank you very much, NH2. Yeah, what's up, man? So,
He's a good guy.
Thank you very much. Nan Gallagher, please, can you break down what this is about? It seems like a very flimsy case against that they're trying to make against Mike Crawford.
So that's a loaded question because there's a lot to the complaint, and some of which I'm not fully familiar with all of the history. And, I think Mike knows this. I don't consider myself an expert in cannabis. I don't know the history. I think there was some type of event called NECANN, NECANN, if I'm pronouncing it right. So to some degree, I'm going to be describing events in a kind of sterile fashion because I'm reading it like a lawyer. And, I did my homework today. I reached out to Mike early on in the day, and I said, hey, send me what you got. And DJ, you sent me materials. So thank you for that. And I've been following his case, but loosely just because, I have another
busy.
job. And there was a little trial for
Couple
someone
law firms
named Karen Reed that I was really focused on, and Aiden. But if Mike's listening, he will give me grace. But this lawsuit, when I first established communication and a relationship with Mike Crawford early this year, and I don't know exactly the date that the complaint was filed. I have notes here, but I will tell you, early on in our relationship, he's like, can you believe it? I got sued. And he sent it to me. And I remember reviewing the lawsuit at the time saying, gosh, I wish I was licensed up there so I could help you. But in a nutshell, he's being sued by, I call the person Jacques. I don't know his full identity.
Jean-Jacques, I think.
Jean-Jacques.
Yep.
And I don't purport to know his stature in the field of cannabis or the community up there, but he's being sued, and I don't really know his relationship with Mike. So I get the sense from having read the complaint originally that there's some type of competition between the two of them, or some, intra-community, intra-cannabis community strife between them. And Jean-Jacques, if I'm saying it correctly, and I'm not watching your chat, so if I'm getting corrected, someone tell me, but Jean-Jacques was really mad that Mike had at least one YouTube presentation, as Robert Cosgrove would call it, concerning Jean-Jacques' activities at a NECANN conference and or in the cannabis community. There may or may not have been some tweeting or social media posts in which it's alleged that Mike cast Jean-Jacques in a poor light in the field, and that Jean-Jacques feels that he's been damaged because of it. And he asserts, and everyone's going to show me some grace because I do have notes, and I'm going to be looking down a little bit, but he asserts essentially 3 causes of action against Mike. And they're grounded in defamation, which I think everyone has a healthy understanding of what that is. He's also suing him for tortious interference with contract and tortious interference with business relations. And those 3 causes of action, I looked at them at the time, again, not knowing. Let me turn my email off if that's chiming. I didn't
We can't hear it, so it's good.
Oh, that's good.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
not knowing the full backstory between the 2 gentlemen, and I would dare say I only consider one of them a gentleman, which is Mike. And before I continue, I just want to give my love and support to him. I consider myself an honorary young jerk. I always have since we became fast friends, and I want to send a special shout out to him and to tell him sometimes you got to be in the long haul for a litigation. You can develop litigation fatigue, and it's very, very stressful to be a defendant and, frankly, to be a plaintiff in a lawsuit. So ultimately, whether or not, and we're going to talk about a motion that has been filed by Mike's very capable attorney, sometimes motions to dismiss get denied. It doesn't mean that there's merit to the complaint that's been filed, which we'll talk about, but it means that the court may not decide at this time that there's enough to dismiss the lawsuit outright after giving Jean-Jacques every favorable inference. So when there is a motion to dismiss, the court's standard is to look at all of the facts in a light most favorable to the litigant, which is Jean-Jacques. And if you give all of those inferences that are favorable to him, the court may decide, you know what, this isn't ripe to dismiss at this juncture. But essentially, those three causes of action, defamation, tortious interference with contract, and tortious interference with business relations, are what Jean-Jacques thinks where Mike may have done some wrong or overstepped, and he's filing a lawsuit about it. In looking at that lawsuit at the time, I'm like, this is BS. It's going to get ultimately dismissed, whether it's on a motion to dismiss now, which is at the onset of discovery. That's when parties exchange documents and take depositions, which is out of court sworn testimony. They start to develop a case. This is a civil action for anyone in your audience who doesn't understand that. So it's for monetary damages. And then in that process of discovery, maybe once that's closed, the court will entertain a motion for what's called summary judgment. And that's when the court doesn't give Jean-Jacques all favorable inferences. And the court will look and say, okay, are there any material facts that are disputed that have to go to a jury? And I'm going to not bury the lead and say right now to, and I'm looking, I see a little something there from Mike. He has a comment there, which you might want to put up. It says,
I will do that. I was waiting on. Okay, he says, I have almost no relationship with Harry Jean-Jacques. He had a beef with a black-owned business, with black-owned businesses that he was supposed to be repping, and I aired the business owner's complaints.
right.
So that's what I read as a layperson is that this plaintiff tried to rope Mike in to a larger beef that was going on. And because Mike has a platform and has a voice, he wanted to try to recoup some sort of damages from Mike that Mike did not inflict, is the way I see it. It was really just him giving his opinion on these issues because he's been part of the community and he was part of the legalization movement within Massachusetts, which, by the way, many cancer patients and others who were not finding relief from other substances just so happened to find it from this natural substance that grows in the ground.
Yeah. And by the way, I think he posted another comment. Mike, if you're commenting, you should hop on, my friend. No, but in all seriousness, like this is very helpful.
His co-founder, brother of the nonprofit he claims I damaged, was recently arrested for child rape under age 14. They don't mention that in their complaint. Yeah. I mean, that's not good for the.
It doesn't serve them. So.
I just want to thank some people on air that have been donating really quickly. Our great friend. So we had our great friend Dennis Sweeney is saying, "Good luck, Mike." He donated a 20. Thank you very much, Dennis. You're awesome. This right here is from Adam Teeper. We're gonna get to this one, Nan. But Grant's case cross complaint. Thank you, DJ B and Laura and Laferio and our Sicario. Our Sicario, Mike, that's right. 9/11, never forget. Thank you very much, sir, for $100. All of this, whatever you donate. If you don't donate it directly to Give, Send, Go, it will go to Mike nonetheless through me. And forget about the 30% stuff. I'm going to cover that. So he'll get the full amount. Okay. So Mike, I think Nan wants you on here, so I'm going to send you the link. But if you're doing your hair right now, I'll understand that. Well, I won't understand that because I don't have hair. But the three of you understand if he's doing his hair. You get that.
He can just throw a baseball cap on too. Just saying.
Mike, come on, man.
No, Mike, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, honey.
No.
I'm simply letting you know that if I botch any of the facts or I don't know all of the backstory, you're going to give me a little bit of grace because I'm going to slay this from a legal perspective. Because I think your attorney has put together a really fantastic motion to dismiss. It's just something where I haven't lived and breathed your case yet. So don't feel any pressure to join. Although, it's always good to see Young Jelly or Money Mike or whatever your new nickname is.
Money Mike.
I mean, can I just say one thing? I mean, over the years, and again, there is no pressure to come on. If you're busy, it's cool. We're going to do this for you because we like and respect you. But I have encountered, collaborated with, spoken to, been on air with, had on my show many different content creators. I'm telling you, this guy is one of the best that I've seen. Mike,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I said this to him privately this week, just in DMs with him. He is a brilliant conversationalist. And this radio host in Boston that invited him to fill in for her, she made a great choice. He is a brilliant conversationalist, and he is just a great host. This is just outside of the fact that he's always serving his community in one way or the other. He's always looking to, how can I serve the community? Well, in addition to that, he's a brilliant broadcaster, and I don't throw that around very loosely. And look, we just had one of his friends and colleagues just came in.
What do we got?
Sarah Shock and Horror.
Hey, Sarah.
Hi, my loves.
How you doing, love?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm it's going great. I'm so happy I got all these awesome people to come on, Lauren, Katie, Nan Gallagher, and yourself to talk about Mike. And I don't get bored of talking about Mike because he's so damn good at what he does. So what have you got to say? And then we'll go back into some legal analysis, ma'am.
Yeah, I just wanted to hop on real quick and just say, first of all, thank you for having me. And, you know, I said when you did this before, a few months ago, I think, you know, I said a lot of my feelings on the situation, but just, you know, reiterating what a great guy I think Mike is and that we all think Mike is. And again, just really thank you to the channel, to you and Bia, the mod team, Nan,
Yes.
Lauren, you know, everybody who is backing Mike and throwing their analysis into the ring. Just it's really very, very much appreciated. And, you know, I'm hoping that that we can get some good money for Mike tonight, but really anything helps. Like I said last time, please, people, do not burden yourselves financially. Mike would not want that. But anything that you have, or if you can share, really would be very, very much appreciated. So, DJ, as always, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on and talk a little bit. And I guess that's really all that I have. I didn't want to take up too much time.
You're always welcome on the channel. Every conversation we've ever had on the phone, you always have something prescient to say or something interesting to say. And you're always welcome here. So you can
Thank you.
hop on any night or just be like, hey, send me a link, and you're gonna get it. I don't care who we're interviewing.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
So,
Thanks, Sarah. Thank you.
all right. Awesome. I hope everybody has a great night.
Bye,
Also
love.
be in the chat, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Shock
Thank
and
you,
Horror. Bye,
Sarah.
love.
Okay. Talk to you. Bye.
She's so sweet.
She is, man. And you know, when you talk to her, I've had hour-long conversations with her. She's just like that. She's very analytical. She kind of understands life. She has a great perspective on things. She doesn't look through her own lens. She kind of takes this sort of overview of life and analyzes it that way. And she's a very impressive person. So Adam had something I think he wanted you to react to that I think goes along with where you were headed. And thank you again, Grant's cross complaint. I really appreciate that, sir. Adam wanted to say fairly high burdens in this case.
Oh, yes. And and by the way, hello to you, Adam. It's long time no speak. And good luck. It sounds like he's got an appeal to argue tomorrow. So that's an important comment here, because what he's talking about is there's these burdens that have to be met and standards that the court will apply when deciding if Mike is ultimately culpable on a civil basis to Henry Jean Jacques. I think that's his name now. I've botched it. But then also on these motions that I'm talking about, we have one now pending, a motion to dismiss at the early onset of the case. And then thereafter, after discovery, if Mike loses this motion, which may happen, these types of motions are not routinely granted. So I want to set everyone's expectations, and I hope Mike's attorney set his expectations. They're not routinely granted because courts are designed to be an open door for litigants to try to bring their causes of action and not to shut them down at the onset. So if there's post discovery, a motion for summary judgment has a different standard to be applied, and the court will have to ultimately decide if Mr. Jean-Jacques has proven enough in terms of his case to therefore go before a jury. And I know I don't, first of all, I want to give Lauren something to say tonight. So I don't want to take the whole stage, but if anyone, if anyone would like me to at least give my thoughts on or to describe the motion to dismiss, I'm happy to do that. And it's early enough in the evening so no one will fall asleep. I certainly don't fall asleep.
You're so funny.
You do not put us to sleep,
You don't put
Nan.
us to
You
sleep,
keep us
Lauren.
awake. You're the
Exactly.
coffee we need. You're sprinkling coffee in there.
Can you sprinkle coffee on me? Because
Yeah, I want it in my eyeballs. Can you just, yeah.
man, I get up every day at like 4:30 in the morning. So by this time of night, I'm bleary-eyed. But the motion to dismiss, which in all candor, I did not look at until today. I know it was posted in September. I remember, I think her name is Dee Dee on Twitter or X. She had posted it, and I remember saying, note to self, I want to read that. But I went through it, and essentially, and now I'm going to look at my notes. But what Mike's attorney is arguing that on its face, the complaint that's been filed against him is legally deficient. He doesn't assert appropriate, provable causes of action against Mike for Mike's conduct in terms of the allegations of defamation or that he tortiously interfered with any contracts Mr. Jean-Jacques had or any business relationships that he had. But in addition to that, Mike's arguments that his attorney is making is that he was essentially setting forth his opinions on his YouTube stream or on anything involving social media as to Jean-Jacques. Thanks, NH dude. But
Thank you, brother.
as far as defamation works, everyone probably has a general understanding that you can give opinions about someone in general, and those are protected. That's not defaming someone. But if you start putting things together as fact and say or painting the presumption that what you're saying is factual, not opinion, then you walk a little bit of a fine line because people can misunderstand that and deduce that you're being factual and therefore accurate, and it can cause someone damages. So what his attorney is arguing, and that's why your donations are so important, because these motions are not cheap. Sorry, I'm glitching. These motions are not cheap to file. They're not cheap to argue. There's opposition that was filed. There's reply brief that was filed in further support of Mike's position. So this is not in any way inexpensive. I can tell you from personal and professional experience. And also, as I said, he may lose this motion because most are lost at this juncture. And then he's may be in it for the long haul with going through discovery. So I would give you a standing offer now, DJ and Bia, if you ever want to have, or there is a need for any further fundraising for Mike, or Mike, if you're still listening, if you want to do any fundraising for yourself and need some assistance from me, I'd be happy to participate. I also have made you a donation tonight, sir. So,
Nan Gallagher! Thank you, Nan, for always being so awesome and supporting all of us. Myself, Mike, the Turtle, Claire, Brian, we greatly appreciate you.
My money is your money. Mi dinero es su dinero. Right?
Look at that. Yeah. We got another Spanish speaker in the joint. All we need is the glare in here.
There we go.
And Sean, and we'll have all four of you.
Yeah.
One thing I want to just say hello to Lady Zelda's here. So we got to say hello to her. My friend Tim Halloran is here, author of a book. So first of all, former baseball scout for the Baltimore Orioles.
Nice.
He is now in business and sales, and he has written, I think he's working on his second book. He wrote a book, The Bigfoot Influencers, where basically he went around and got testimony from the most influential people in Bigfoot research around the country, from Cliff Barrickman and the folks on Finding Bigfoot, spread all the way across the country. Tim Halloran also went to 34 Fairview to look at it before me when he was in business And he's like, DJ, I'm at 34 Fairview. I'm like, dude. And then the next month is when I went, when I came to Turtle. It was last October. So Tim, thank you for stopping in. And I guess Lady Zelda's here, another amazing content creator, as if we have any shortage. Where is she, Lady? There she is, Lady Zelda. So thank you very much. You guys and everybody's being so generous. So Lauren, Katie, as Nan said, did you have something that you wanted to add to this, or are we kind of just going to want to absorb this case?
Just suck it up.
No, if we've seen anything in Massachusetts, it's the fact that they don't take their time trying to get things resolved or to trial or whatever. They fart around with it and they just keep kicking it down the street. So hopefully this gets resolved soon. The chances, just going off of past things that we've seen, it might be a slower process, which is horrible. So there's going to be more hearings, more motions, more hours, and that's more money. So any amount that anyone can give to Mike, he's well deserving of it. And he's going to need it probably because things don't get resolved here, quickly.
Because of that stat right there, tell Nan there's no speedy trial statute in Massachusetts, so they can do what they did to Karen, and they can do what they're doing to Turtle Boy. Is try to just drain them of money, keep it going. No, don't produce discovery, make them file endless letters, knowing that each time Mark has to send a letter. Now, we don't know if he's doing this pro bono or not. We don't know, but we have to assume that Turtle Boy is being billed for this stuff.
Oh yeah.
And every time Mark has to draft even a letter that all you idiots make fun of that are standard procedure among intelligent professional attorneys. And then he has to draft a motion behind it when Cosgrove and his injured hip, get that hip replacement, Robert. When he doesn't respond, then he has to write a motion behind it. And then that causes Turtle Boy more money when they could have responded to his letter. Right, Nan?
Yes. And, as an attorney who has to bill clients, it's not fun doing that. But I speak on behalf of most honorable attorneys when I say that it's not easy work. I mean, it's time consuming. We have generally an hourly rate. Some attorneys will arrange like a flat fee or some type of hybrid model, but it's just little, like even Adam saying, increments. I bill in 6-minute increments or tenths of an hour, and it adds up. And, that's why I like having my own firm. And I bet Adam Teeper would say the same thing, which is, we have the freedom to answer to ourselves if we want to reduce a bill. But some lawyers at big firms, like I dare say Robert Alessi at his firm, DLA Piper, like they're in a position where it's heavily billable, like you're judged on your billable productivity and what they charge, not just his firm.
We got another attorney here.
Yeah. Like,
Welcome.
There you go. It's like what you charge per hour, it racks up so quickly. And
can I defend you for 1 second, Nan?
Yeah.
Nan also has attorneys that she has to pay. And she has paralegals that she has to pay. And so you can't just do everything pro bono. Okay. She has to charge people money because otherwise, out of her personal checking account, she might have to pay people's salary. So you do have to charge at some point.
Yeah. And since this all started with me entering the Karen Reed movement in January of 2025, I increased my billable rate because I had started by donating my hourly rate to Aiden Carney. That I saw another attorney did that. And I said, oh, I can do that. I'm familiar with this case. And then people kept saying, oh, you don't charge enough. And I was like, oh, I don't. So I increased my rate because I have a very particular niche practice, very specialized. Not all attorneys do. It doesn't make me better than them. But if you come to me, you get a certain level of service. And I'm very proud of that. And yeah, it's not cheap. So the money goes quickly. And not all attorneys are looking to just bleed you dry. It's just very expensive to launch a defense of a criminal action or a civil action. So at some point, I'm going to pull Mike aside and I'm going to ask him. He doesn't have to tell me like, hey, how much have you been spending on this? Because I know it adds up.
Mike, put it in the chat. No, I'm just kidding.
No, don't, Mike.
And same with Lauren Katie. Lauren Katie, there may be some cases that tug at her heartstrings. Some families who have suffered some kind of loss that, right, Lauren? And you're trying to make good on it. But at the same time, you got to pay your bills.
Yeah.
I try to do as many missing persons cases pro bono as I can, just because I want to. And that's my passion. So, but at the same time, you do have to, pay the bills. So, but yes, there are good people that actually care, good lawyers, all of that. We've seen that, proof was in the pudding with Karen Reed and all of her amazing attorneys and all of that. So that speaks for itself. There's wonderful attorneys out there. So,
yeah.
And we got to get Michelle together because she said she's done as a PI. Michelle did cold cases as well. So we've got to get her and Lauren Katie on. Lauren has her own channel, so she could have Michelle on, outside of cab, but we would be happy to host you as well. So what's that?
It's still growing. I'm still trying to get those things up there, but eventually I will have like lives and things like that. So.
And if you need help, just call me and whatever you need to help get you going, I'll help you out, whatever that takes.
Thank you so much, CJ. That means a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
And you both provide a service that, is there, but then you don't, until you need it. That's when you both ladies come in and help, with, civil and criminal cases and what have you. So obviously this is a service that you provide that unless you need it, it's just there.
Yeah. And nobody wants to get sued. So it's like so unfortunate because once you do, you realize very quickly that it adds up financially and also emotionally. I know, and I don't know specifically how Mike feels about this since I spoke with him initially once it was filed, but I know it's just very stressful knowing that it's looming. So I'm really happy to be part of a community that supports him because he's done such a service. And I heard you talking earlier, DJ, he's provided a service to not only his clients who need him, but also all of us in the Karen Reed and Aidan Carney communities and other with other local matters where he provides a service to me. Like I get a lot of information from him and a lot of entertainment from him.
He's a brilliant content creator. I mean, you either are a conversationalist or you're not. And then there's different levels of being a fair, good, and a great or exceptional conversationalist. And Mike is exceptional. His timing, there's just a lot of little things that when you get into this and you've been doing it for a decade or more, that you'll see little things that he does that other people don't do. There's certain things there's things that I learned watching him, and I've been doing this for 15 years, but there's things I learn when I watch Mike. He's just fantastic. Of course, Your Honor, wanted to say right here, this is obviously a Massachusetts attorney, and I want to thank you for joining our community. The official attorney of Valhalla Law, who's in the chat here, Adam Teeper, attorney Adam Teeper, who does a lot of animal rights cases, is in the chat. And he says, we take a duty day a month of indigent clients, with people that can't pay, of the Commonwealth. So that is extraordinary. That's like what the Innocence Project does. Like Barry Scheck started a gazillion years ago, right?
Yep. By the way, Mike posted in your chat how much he's paid so far.
Okay, let's
just to give you some context, and that was just a so far.
Okay, that's $19,750 and expecting another big bill due soon. So that's why we're doing this, and that's why we're happy to do this. And when Mike said, yeah, if you guys want to do another one, that would be awesome. And I said, of course, we have never, and any of our friends that are doing this kind of work, it could be anybody on this panel. It could be anybody in the chat. You're doing this kind of work. Yeah, we would do a fundraiser. We're not the most prolific fundraiser. My colleague, the Glare, I think, what did he get the other night, BL? Like $20,000?
I think so.
Yeah, just short of 21. Yes.
$20,000+ of 12 hours of his work. That is prolific fundraising by the Glare.
But
Big
it's
respect.
okay. Even if
Yeah.
we're smaller, it doesn't matter. I think if
Yeah,
anybody
just-
can just share the stream, talk about it, share it with your friends and family, and just make people aware of what's happening because, I guess, the spotlight has been on Massachusetts, but this is not just Massachusetts. This is all of us as a whole, as a country. Our rights we have these rights and they're being stomped on. So again, I just don't think right now the spotlight is on us, but this could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
This is the new colleague that's going to be on with us. This is Misdemeanor. She covered in person. She covered the the Adelson trial.
Adelson, yep.
Down in, do you want to say the name of the state?
Florida.
Florida. It's Melanie Little does. And she's fantastic. So we're going to be doing I don't know if you're familiar with former Detective David Paulides of Missing 411.
Yes.
I don't know if you were on with us when we did any. We're going to do a David Paulides where we're going to do 3 or 4 of his cases. We're going to put his YouTube up because, first of all, he speaks really well. He's a lot better looking than me. He has hair. And then we're going to analyze it. So we're going to have Mr. Meaner, Lady Zelda, who's in the chat, Mr. Meaner, and Nan Gallagher's invited to every stream we do.
I get around.
I don't care what we're doing. So we're going to do that. But some of the cases that he brings out, Nan, I promise you, you will take off your derby, like some of these missing persons cases, like in Yosemite Park, and you'll just scratch your head because they are literally somebody walks away, they're looking at their kid, they turn around, they talk to somebody, and that person is gone.
Oh my God.
And they'll do 6-7 day searches with dog teams, professional searchers, park rangers, U.S. Forest Rangers, and find, like with Stacey Harris, they found she was taking a photo of this old man on the rock. Everybody saw them. She said, "I'm going to walk down by the lake." They found the lens cap to her camera and nothing else.
My God.
David Paulides put in a Freedom of Information Act request, a FOIA, to get that record of Stacey Harris that happened in the late 80s. They will not give up that record. They will not talk about what they think happened to Stacey Harris. And, essentially he's acting in your capacity now, Lauren, because he doesn't have a badge now. He's basically a private investigator.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and
they
anybody
called him-
that information, public citizens and everything, that's owed to them. So absolutely.
A special agent from the Forest Service calls David Paulides and says, "Why do you want that case?" He's like, "Doesn't matter why I want it. I want to review your case file." And he said, "Well, I'm going to tell you something. You're never going to get it."
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's just one. But he said, I want you to internalize this, Nan, if you haven't heard this. There are more people missing. This is based on David and his team of reviewing thousands of cases. There are more people missing from Yosemite National Park than anywhere in the world. Not just the U.S., the world.
Oh my God. How did you find that out? Did he tell you that statistic or?
Yeah. Well, yes, he told that statistic. He's a former San Jose detective. You remember the Poly Class case?
Yes.
He worked on he was active duty on the Poly Class case in California. He lives in Montana now. And this is what he does full time. He's written a dozen books and he's had three movies working on his 4th, Missing 411. So if you just go to YouTube and put in Missing 411, he's got hundreds and hundreds of cases there. And some of them are bizarre on a level that just will blow your mind. So where people, church group at Yosemite, goes down to, these are some of these trails like to these falls. There are hundreds of people traversing that. They're wide trails. They're not, you're out in the outback somewhere, right? And one person, they're down at the falls and they turn around. What happened to Bob? Bob's gone. And they never found a trace of him. One of the ones we covered recently, there is a group of firemen from Toronto that are skiing at Lake Placid, where we had the Olympics in 1980. And they're all skiing. And one of the fire captains there, because there's a whole group of firemen meeting to do this. So he never comes off the slopes. And naturally, you have dozens and dozens of firemen that are headed up to the slopes to try and find this guy. When he reappears, He is still in, okay, so he finds himself in an 18-wheeler, still in his ski clothing, and he gets dropped off at the Sacramento airport with his helmet, his, his lift ticket, the whole 9 yards, his down jacket, and he doesn't know how he got there.
So what happened? He doesn't.
He doesn't know.
Maybe he was drugged, or I don't know.
Yeah, there was another one where there was a kid missing on. We talked about this one. There was a kid missing on Lake Michigan, so he'd gone cross country skiing. So when his family reported him missing, they tracked the skis skiing out onto the frozen lake, and they stop. There are no footprints around his ski tracks. When he wakes up, he is in Pennsylvania, 700 miles away, in a farmer's field.
You're going to give me nightmares, but yeah, I don't know if I can appear on any show where stuff like this is discussed, because I'm sitting here going, how does that happen? I don't get it. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, some people think portals, some people think UFOs, that these things exist. I have interviewed some first responders that were on a Bigfoot expedition in Alabama. And one of them was from the Atlanta area. So there was a cop, there was an EMT. I think those were the two first responders involved in this group of like 10 people. And they were looking for Bigfoot, and they saw a part of their team. So they're using night vision equipment, and they walked into something, and then they're disappearing from physical sight. So they told them, they realized it there, then they backed out and they were out of it. But I've heard two people that I interviewed, one, and I heard another on another show that was interviewed, and they told the exact same story. So I've never seen a portal, but how do you explain these disappearances where the cadet? So you have search dogs come out, and anybody that's worked with search dogs, and Lauren might be the only one of us that's interacted with search dogs, they start to sniff, and they're very active when they get out on the scene, and you wave the scent bag in front of them, they're going, and they'll walk for a little while, and they'll just stop, and they'll either walk in a circle or lay down, and then the handler's like, what the hell's going on? So there's some really weird sort of profile points that David Politis has identified. So yeah, if you don't want to be scared, don't come on that episode, but you're invited.
Thank you.
All right, let's get back to Mike Crawford.
All right, so I'll just finish up a discussion of the motion that a very good motion that his attorney filed. So his attorney is arguing now at the beginning of the case, before discovery really, I don't even know if it's lifted off yet or if it's in process. But what he's argued is that what Mike was setting forth publicly was opinion and not fact, and that's not actionable from a civil perspective against Mike. I would also just mention here that the allegations that Henry Jean-Jacques has raised are that Mike went further. Instead of simply saying, well, hey, these are my opinions, he allegedly had put some things out publicly, whether it was on his stream or on his social media, where he called Jean-Jacques allegedly called him a criminal informant, or made any communication or indication of whether or not he thinks he's guilty or not. I don't know if that's true. That's in the pleading. So if that's the case, that could take this beyond, well, it was just mere opinions, and possibly a jury could find that Mike maybe overstepped. I don't think Mike overstepped to the point where he defamed Henry Jean-Jacques. The other thing that Mike's attorney argued is that it's something called the public figure doctrine, essentially saying that Jean-Jacques is a public figure, and someone who is a public figure in a community, then you have to prove that whatever Mike did was done with actual malice, that that's a legal standard, and it's higher than just, oops, I was reckless in what I said, or I was negligent. It's actual malice means you had to intend to harm Jean-Jacques by your words and actions. You had to do it with an ill intent, and it was willful and wanton that you did it. So they essentially argued that in this instance, Henry Jean-Jacques is a public figure or a limited public figure. And for that reason, whatever allegedly Mike did wrong was not done with actual malice, and therefore the standard to impute civil liability against Mike is not met. The other thing that he argued in his motion is something called Section 230 immunity. And that is where a party, or I guess a defendant, reposts something on social media. So, how many times are we on X or Facebook and we say, oh, okay, that's an article or that's something interesting, and you repost it. But in Massachusetts, there's the Communications Decency Act, and Section 230 of that Communications Decency Act basically shields passive hosts, passive social media users from just, hey, I'm reposting this. I'm putting it out there for you all to see. But I will tell you, in the opposition, Jean-Jacques is arguing that this wasn't just passive reposting or passive commentary on Jean-Jacques' conduct, that there was an active participation on the part of Mike in the alleged wrongdoing, that he didn't just repost or retweet anything, he participated in it. I am by no means saying he did. I'm just explaining the arguments to you. And then the last thing that Mike argued in his motion is something called anti-SLAPP, SLAPP. And an anti-SLAPP defense is actually, it's a very strong one in Massachusetts. And anti-SLAPP statutes are where the government, how do I say this? An anti-SLAPP statute exists where to prevent entities from stopping you from speaking out about governmental action. People have the right to say, I don't like my government, or I don't like this entity and what it's doing. And they should have a First Amendment right to speak out in any fashion against some wrongdoing, any type of government action or petitioning. They can speak out against that. And in Mike's motion, he argues that his speech that he participated in was aimed at influencing governmental processes, and therefore it's protected. He simply said things that everyone should have a right to know about Henry Jean-Jacques, and therefore he's protected by the anti-SLAPP statute. This is kind of boring stuff, which is why I told you all you're going to fall asleep.
Yeah.
But his motion raises really significant constitutional issues that are very important, and the court should take them very seriously. I don't know if the court's going to say, now is the time for us to decide this, or at the close of discovery. A lot of the disputes in terms of facts are going to start to reveal themselves, and those disputes are very fact intensive, which is why a discovery is very important, and maybe a jury is going to have to decide, what was Mike's intent? Did he really go to defame Jean-Jacques, or was he being just more of a good citizen, providing information to the general public to let them decide? Did he do this willfully, wantonly? Did he speak out against the conduct of Jean-Jacques in a way that was not designed to interfere with his business endeavors or any contracts that he had, or his nonprofit that Jean-Jacques runs? Sounds like Mike was commenting earlier in the chat, and I saw him posting about this on Twitter earlier today, that there's some underpinnings, racial underpinnings, that may be tied into this. And I think there was some town or community meeting that was being broadcast at 6:00 this evening that may have some relevance on the racial components of these claims. So I just figured I would mention that, and anyone should look to Mike's social media for more information about that. The opposition to Mike's motion was filed. And in the opposition, Henry Jean-Jacques essentially argues that this was defamation per se, that he spoke out, he said things as fact, it wasn't just opinions, and it harmed Jean-Jacques. And that the standard to be applied is not actual malice because he's a public figure. He's arguing, I'm just a regular dude. I'm a decorated but regular dude. And all you have to do is argue that you were reckless, not willful and wanton. Hey, James, how are you, buddy? Not that you were willful and wanton and intentional in what you did. And then also he argued that this was endorsement as opposed to this neutral passive reposting. So that by doing what Mike allegedly did, he was publicly commenting and giving his flavor as to the conduct, as opposed to just this passive, oops, I want you to know, I'm retweeting, I'm reposting, or I'm stating in a way that's passive. Jean-Jacques feels that he was quite active in his conduct. In addition to that, and I kind of just touched upon this, Jean-Jacques is arguing that he is not a public figure. He's just a lowly, ordinary, decorated dude who doesn't get higher protections. Go ahead, DJ.
That was the question. What is the definition of a public figure? Because I think it would be incumbent upon them to prove, okay, what's the definition of a public figure? So we can see, does he fit that definition? And if he doesn't, well, there's a percentage of his claim gone. Because he can't be injured in that way.
And there's, so the short answer is, I don't remember because I officially learned it in law school, but going by memory and remembering that there's a seminal case. It's, I believe it's a Supreme Court case called New York Times versus Sullivan. That case fully answers your question, which I'd be lying if I remembered the holding of it per se. But essentially, a public figure is someone that has the attention and focus of a community who gets pointed out, and they have some level of prominence. For example, that can be stretched very far and wide, even to extend to someone making them a, quote, limited public figure. So, like, for example, and by no means do I mean this to sound arrogant, when I was in Disney last month, someone recognized me in a restaurant and was like, "Are you Nan Gallagher?" And I was like, "I'm just eating my steak." I'm like, "Yes." Someone could argue I was a public figure. I don't think I'm a public figure, but the point is, if you have some level of recognition, then arguably you are a, quote, public figure. It's a very loose standard. New York Times versus Sullivan, though, from my recollection, explains it in depth. And I'm looking, Adam Teeper is like, Nan, it's a public figure. I don't think I am. I think I'm a tired figure. But anyway, to sue a public figure, you have to have actual malice. Many of your audience members may remember the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard and Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp case. And both of them, as celebrities, one more prominent than the other, as they both were, quote, public figures, they both had to prove that the other committed actual malice, this intentional wrongdoing, as they allegedly defamed one another. And another piece of that case was retweeting. In fact, Amber Heard had retweeted a post. I forget what publication it was, but there was a publication that had its publishing houses in Virginia, which was where the case was venued because they had looser anti-SLAPP statutes. And in that case, there was an article where she had all but alluded to the fact that he was someone who committed violent acts against his wife. I'm trying not to use the Twitter buzzwords, but the point is, she just saw that. I mean, she knew it was being put on X or Twitter at the time and reposted it. And part of that republication was part of Johnny Depp's defamation action against her. And he basically said you weren't just inactive in or passive in reposting this. You commented as I think they call it a quote post or a quote tweet. You didn't just retweet something, you added your own commentary to it. And by doing that, you invite some level of validation to what's in the article that you're retweeting. So I would caution anyone, and this is not in any way meant to criticize Mike in any way. I would caution anyone from retweeting anything recklessly. You should always, if you're retweeting something, make sure you read it. Make sure you read it first. And if you are quote tweeting something where you're adding your own commentary, just do so in a manner, whether it's with actual malice or recklessness, make sure that you satisfy to yourself that you're being very responsible in how you do that, because things like this can happen. And by, again, I'm not alluding to anything that Mike has done when I say that. That's just good, sound, general legal advice.
For free, by the way.
For free,
Thank
right.
You. Thank you. This is
and
not a billable 6 minutes in case. All right, please continue.
But anyway, lastly, Mr. Jean-Jacques is arguing that under the anti-SLAPP statute, this defamation was designed to destroy his business and his contracts and his reputation. It's not protected government petitioning that the anti-SLAPP statute is designed to protect. So therefore, he's arguing that Mike does not get the protections of the anti-SLAPP statute. In a follow-up punch, Mike's attorney filed a reply brief, which is always a shorter pleading where he just recapitulated his arguments, and it reemphasized these were Mike's opinions, not fact. He also said that Jacques is of some level of public prominence. Therefore, there needed to have been actual malice. Again, he's just recapping here. And he insisted that his commentary related to the criminal prosecution, related to a criminal prosecution, and therefore it's petitioning activity that's protected under anti-SLAPP. Here's my final thoughts before I yield to the esteemed panel. I feel at this juncture, and as someone who doesn't know all of the history between Mike and Jean-Jacques and the cannabis industry up there, I feel that there are strong arguments that have been raised, and this is a top-notch motion that has been filed. But there's a strong opposition on some of the points, some of the allegations, some of the counts of the complaint, and I'm forecasting that I think the judge is going to likely deny the motion, not because it's not good, but because these are routinely not granted. And I'm forecasting, unfortunately, Mike, and I don't mean to be the bearer of bad tidings, I think that the court is going to punt this into discovery, and that you should, if that happens, revisit your arguments after robust discovery is completed, and then file a motion for summary judgment where the standard is much easier to satisfy. If you need any assistance from me, Mike, I'm soon to be licensed in your state, and I'd be happy to help on a pro bono basis.
There you go. We don't even need the Pro Hoc Vice, so we can have somebody like Judge Mev go. No, doesn't he have enough legal representation? Be like, no, you can have.
You can never have
lawyers.
enough.
Exactly, 15 attorneys back there.
I do have a follow-up question for you, Nan.
Yeah.
So basically, do we need to start like disclaimer here, like a James Jackson, always saying, in my opinion?
Yeah.
Or is it something that, like, if you're retweeting something or you're putting in your 2 cents, would something like coming on a show and saying, in my humble opinion, would that have made a difference in a lawsuit, that if you were
Yeah.
a disclosure out there saying this is just my opinion? Because I do notice that on every show, when you give your opinion, you always clarify, this is my opinion, not of the show. So
Yes,
you
I
always make sure you draw that line, not to, say that the show feels this way, that Nan Gallagher feels this way.
That's right. I do say that on every single stream when I am presented with the opportunity, because I never want to impute liability to your channel or any other channel. Last week I was on with Samantha Benigno, and I forget what I was talking about, but I said that's my opinion, not that of the channel, which the channel, including yours, might agree with what I'm saying, but I don't want to be reckless in any way and try to, if I say something and I can be kind of outspoken to a fault, I don't want anyone to sue you because you had a guest on your show who gave opinions or stated things that could be perceived as fact that harmed someone, and therefore they sue you because of it. So to answer your question, to the degree that it sounds natural, I definitely encourage people to say, in my opinion, or this is my opinion. Not every single time. I mean, that becomes almost artificial, but to the extent, if you're stating something that may be a little controversial or misunderstood or could harm someone, stating that it's an opinion can help. It's not the be all and end all, but it's a big help.
And, to that effect, that's what happened to Mike here. He was giving his opinion on air. Somebody decided to sue him. Part of that was probably because he now has some notoriety and fame, and he's being recognized for his work. And I think one of the things that's important to point out is that a lot of us think that we can take a breath now. Karen Reed's free.
Yeah.
And Sandra Birchmore was unalived, and therefore she can't be injured anymore. She may or may not get justice, and Just en Route may or may not get justice. But I think it's important to point out is that we are in a calm between the storm. Storm Karen Reed, and then here's the next one that's coming up. And somebody like Mike is going to be there when that next storm happens. And I can guarantee you, seeing the kind of individuals that are in this DA's office, that are in, from the governor all the way on down, that are in the Massachusetts State Police, that have zero regard for propriety, for ethics, for justice, for truth, for God's sakes. But Mike is going to be there when that happens to call that out. And to his, I don't know how many 50,000 followers or whatever he has at this point, and it's going to keep growing because now he's been invited on the radio to fill in for one guest locally. He's probably going to be invited on other shows. He's probably going to be invited on television. And so it's very important that you support somebody like Mike and that he doesn't go bankrupt over this, because you think this isn't going to happen again? These people, these assholes, after Sandra Birchmore happened, they went and they had no compunction, no resistance at all to not try to frame Karen Reed, and they will do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Look at Kelly Deaver. Name incorrect on purpose. She had no problem going up there, knowing all these things that happened, going up there and lying. So what does that tell you? And nobody, we did a show on this a couple of weeks ago, Nan, we should have had you on. This is the last show we did, where I was like screaming into the microphone about Enrique Delgado. There were dozens of witnesses to this, dozens of people who are troopers today, and they haven't said a word. What does that tell you? This will happen again. And Mike Crawford and Turtle Boy and Mazza and Glare and us, we're going to be there for that.
Can I comment on that really quickly too? Because
but before you do, there's someone I want you to applaud. Okay.
Oh, sure.
All right. Party people, put your hands together. Mike Crawford.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you.
You are welcome, sir.
And
Welcome
thank
back.
you for all the
It's
all
good
the
to see you again.
donations and support too. Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to some of the conversation. I just got to say, like, it was a good question, be about if you state it's just your opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, legally, that should back you up, but you can still get sued.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's basically what's happening to me. I mean, I'll just quote it. This is these when I retweeted, or not retweeted, I reposted on Facebook. These were my words. Not backing all the statements he makes from all the evidence received, I do believe. Looked like, seems like, doesn't seem, not guilty. That was the only declarative statement I made, was not guilty. And there was basically some criminal charges that were made against this one dude from these, the guy who's suing me got into a fight at a public event with video. And what the video showed is that the one guy was walking into the event. He stops and looks because someone's calling his name out. 3 men come and circle him, and a fight breaks out. So to me, the people who approached and encircled were obviously the aggressors. The person who ran the event, who had no stake in any of the relationships, he viewed the video first. I know him. I trust him. He told me he thought the other group were the aggressors, not the person who was actually charged, the one guy who got encircled by the 3. And so I saw the video, and my opinion is he was not guilty based on that video. Now, this attorney is claiming I never saw the video. I played the video on my show.
Mm-hmm.
I posted the video.
Yeah.
I watched the video over and over again. We all watched it. And so my opinion was presented, and it was my opinion. I stated over and over and over again that this is just opinion. And the only declarative thing I really felt like that I was factual was my opinion that it was going to be not guilty. And what happened?
Mm-hmm.
The criminal charges were dismissed against the guy. He didn't get a not guilty because it never went to trial. The charges were dismissed twice. So to me, like, I just gave my opinion, and the only thing I really said was not guilty. And that's obviously an opinion too, because that hadn't happened yet. It's obviously what I was saying is, and I'll read it. I can't say officially because I don't know, but geez, doesn't it look like that? Doesn't it? This is a question I asked. I asked a question on my show, and they're claiming that asking a question with a question mark, how is that a statement of fact when you're asking a question? It's just the stuff in here is just ridiculous. There's a lot more I could say on it. I mean, I'll just say, like, the public figure thing. This guy had stories written about him in WGBH. He goes to city council. He goes to the state house. He goes to Boston city hearings, and he is the Big Hope Project.
Yep.
He's the guy who got $50,000 from the mayor of Boston. He's the guy who got $50,000 and took a picture with the mayor of Boston, Michelle Wu, with a big check to help black people, to help people who've been disproportionately harmed. And then the disproportionately harmed black business owners are coming to me and telling me these guys are fucking with us. Like, these guys are trying to get our money. These guys are going against us. And that was a video I showed tonight. It happened a couple of years ago, actually, the video I showed tonight on my show. And that's basically them shutting a black woman, minority-owned applicant, 51% owned dispensary owner. She couldn't open in Boston because they opposed her. They sent threats, even in the public hearing. They had to shut the public hearing down because there were threats made in the chat, in the Zoom hearing. And this is the crew. I mean, this is the stuff that's been going on. And I showed the people that they were supposed to representing. I gave them a platform.
Yep.
And 2 of them are being sued over this. 2 of them are being sued. And
Mike,
And those
I
are.
I think what they said was factual too.
I'm sorry, Lauren.
Like-
did you say something?
I'm sorry.
oh, I want to interrupt Mike. Mike, you go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, I think everything I believe, it's my belief, what they're saying is factual. And I feel like I put victims up. These people are supposed to be represented by the Big Hope Project, who have state, and that's the other thing about the slap. They say it's not governmental. I think Nan has a point. Like, I think my lawyer could have actually done even a better job, actually. And I think summary judgment will get there. But these guys have been working with the state of Massachusetts. the Cannabis Control Commission. They've been working with the Boston Equity, they've been City of Cambridge, City of Boston. They are endorsed politically, and they're using their political ties to shake down these other applicants. And I just aired it out, and they don't. If you look at their lawsuit too, they're claiming that I cost them $500,000 to the nonprofit. He's an individual suing me and saying that I ruined his nonprofit, but he doesn't mention that his brother got arrested, who was the co-founder of the nonprofit with him, for child rape under 14.
Right.
So
that has a tendency
what really
to-
ruined his nonprofit? I'll tell you what ruined his nonprofit. He got in a fight that was on video that people saw, and and Grant Smith Ellis went out there and said, this guy, Mar, he's the one. They charged him. He's the bad guy. And then people saw the video and said, oh, Mar doesn't look like the bad guy. It looks like these three guys approached him, encircled him, and started the fight. And then the brother gets arrested for child rape. So what actually harmed the nonprofit? And on top of it all, everyone knows what they've been doing. Everybody's been watching them bully people. They're picking sides. If there's two black applicants for the same neighborhood, you don't pick a side based on who's funding you.
Yep.
You don't pick a side based on who's going to put your product in the store. You're supposed to be above board. You're supposed to be representing all the black applicants. And a 51% minority-owned applicant, they went and testified against her. And she's from the city of Boston, and she's trying to open up in Boston. And it's just a disgrace. And they went after her because she had a partnership with Be Real from Cypress Hill.
Wow.
I mean, and she's still a 51% owner. It's just the stuff that they did was just gross. And I did what I always do. I let people speak their truth on my show. And because of that, they're trying to silence us and shut us up. And hey, in the end, everything that we said on our show is factual. They're not denying that the brother got arrested for child rape. That's not in the lawsuit. I wonder why. What else isn't on the lawsuit is Harry's criminal record. Harry and his brother want to say, oh, we're cannabis guys. We got arrested for cannabis. We should be in the industry. They can't be licensed in the industry
Because
there's a law against non-felony arrest for cannabis. If they were felons for cannabis, I'm pretty sure they'd be in, but they're not. They have violent records. Harry has an expunged record. They're not denying that. He did attempted murder with a gun is the charge I saw from Quincy. And I got that from Mar Stringer's attorney. That's the thing. Everything that I said on my show, everything that I've talked about and posted is coming from attorneys.
Yep.
I played a clip tonight. One of the biggest attorneys in Boston, Prince LaBelle, Mike, what is his name? Mike Ross. He was a former city councilor from Boston, former prosecutor. This guy he's like Betterow. He's money. He is Money Mike. And Money Mike was representing Sia Samora at this cannabis hearing where she was trying to open. And he was basically doing it pro bono. And he had worked with a lot of the MSOs that the Big Hope Project was against, which is the multi-state operators, the big money in the industry, the ones who actually funded the Big Hope Project, which is funny, right? So they're claiming that this woman, Leah Samora, is big money. And Mike Ross gets up there and he's like, you know what? I'm working for her for free because I believe in her. And what you're doing, he called them out. He's like, you're not being truthful. I wish I quoted him directly, but you get the point. This is a big time attorney. And he's basically calling them out, both the brothers who spoke at this hearing. And he called them both out. And he basically said, you're not being honest. And, it's funny, they were defaming her. They were defaming her at that hearing. And everything that they claim that I did and that Mar Stringer did, and they did it. They did it first. They defamed the shit out of these people. So, I mean, that's the facts. And I've been trying to silence myself because these guys are ridiculous. They quote shit out of, there's so much ridiculousness. It's just like what we see in Aiden. It's like, you can't believe the fuckery. And I can't believe this lawyer is going for this. But at a certain point right now, and I probably should shut my mouth because I have a, motion to dismiss. I don't want to fuck that up. But you know what? I'm just tired of it. This woman got up there and called me a racist today. Well, you know what, lady? Your boys, your two black bros that you're defending with criminal records, one for child rape, they went and shut down a black-owned minority owned, women owned, 51% social equity. They're the ones who did that. I didn't do that. I would never speak out against a dispensary group like that, especially a local woman. And they did that. So who's actually racist here? You know, it's just, I'm just tired of it. I'm not going to take it. I'm telling the truth, and it is what it is. Sorry to go on the rant for so long.
No,
this is
it
great.
helps. It helps
was-
add flavor.
It was so good for people to hear from you, your passion, and personally, I would want him at the defense table the way that the Dream Team wanted Karen Reed at the defense table. So I would ask you, Nan, can you give us 3 bullet points that would form the sort of keystone of your defense of Mike in court?
Oh, yes. And by the way, I want to remind myself, I want to answer, someone asked if content creators can get insurance to cover themselves for defamation.
I've been looking. I have insurance actually for my website that I really don't use that much, but that's the only one I could find. I searched for that for years. It doesn't seem like you can find it for a YouTube show unless you're huge, like unless you have like a huge company behind you. So if anyone has any leads on that, I would love to get it. But I have a feeling it would be very difficult to get, knowing that they're going to look up and say, hey, this guy's already got a defamation case against them. So, I mean,
it's very expensive.
You know, this is one, it's funny because there's one YouTuber out there, lady, who she talks, oh, you can join this and I'll help you and make sure you don't get sued. And I'm hitting her up and I'm saying, like, I'm looking for it. Tell me how to get the insurance. You keep recommending it to, like, who offers it? Like, where is it? She never gets back. It's just like, oh, you're just trying to scam us for $100 a month and never give us the info we actually fucking need, which is somebody that's a carrier that would actually insure on this stuff. Absolutely.
Panel, could you please welcome Mazza Media?
Oh, what's up, Mazza?
Hey, Mazza.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? How you doing tonight? How you doing? All right, what's this all about? What's this about? This is Mazza Media's grandfather here tonight, calling in. What is this? What is this Wednesday night show? And Mazza's going to do martial arts. My grandson is trying to practice martial arts, and DJ sends him a link, and he's like, "Oh, the show's on Wednesday." And how's Mazza going to do that when he's practicing martial arts and trying to be like Bruce Lee on a Wednesday night? DJ, what is the meaning of that?
I'm sorry, Mazza. Sorry if I didn't communicate, but at least we got the meal food change for you. So we at least got that done. So.
All right, well, for my grandson, I'm sure not going to be there. I want nothing to do with. I don't even want to be on the show right now as Mazza's grandfather. All right. You might know Mazza as a nice guy, but I'm his bitter old angry grandfather. All right. And I'm running a fundraiser right now for some guy who allegedly calls himself a jerk. It's a ripoff of the Young Turks, by the way. Okay. Now I have a hot date on Saturday night. Okay, and I don't care what anybody thinks, but that lady with the Phillies jersey down in Florida over the weekend, I thought she was a nice lady, and I thought she should have ripped the ball out of the kid's hands. Okay. All right, now this is that's my grandfather. He's sorry about that. My grandfather's drunk tonight, guys. I apologize. That was my grandpa.
You know what?
Out of sorts and rude.
Great transition there.
One love to Grandpa. I wonder does he like wings? I'm sorry. Welcome, Mazza. And what did you?
Thank you.
Nan was about to give her 3 bullet points that would form her defense for Mike. But did you have anything that you wanted to say first before we get going as we try to raise some money for Mike's defense fund?
Perfect. Yeah, no, Mike needs the help. You know, we got to back up our boy here. We back up Aiden, we back up Karen, we back up each other. It's the most important thing we can possibly do is back each other up. Mike has been a crusader for helping out Karen, helping out Aiden. And unfortunately, there's people out there, there's matters that have happened and Mike's trying to defend himself. And, if anybody can raise $1 or, not $1, but, even at $10 minimum would be great just to help out Mike's battle. And DJ, I appreciate what you're doing tonight, by the way. I just got out of class, so I'm driving right now, but I want to definitely just participate in the show, even if it's brief. But again, I just believe in helping out Mike. Mike's been a great guy, and Mike's a great person. And not only do I agree that Mike's a great person, but I think if you asked every single dog he's ever walked, that if they could talk, those dogs would say how awesome Mike is. if they could pick any dog walker on the face of this earth, I think they'd pick Mike. But Mike's the man. He's been great. He has found so many great guests on his show, from Mark Betterow, Nan Gallagher, and so many other people that have been on his show. He's done great work. And, for me, like I said, I can't say enough good things about Mike. He's awesome. And he's just done great work. He's been one of the cornerstone content creators of a very big movement. He's doing a great job filling in for Grace Curley on the Howie Carr, I think it's the Howie Carr Network or whatever there. He's done a great job there. And, like I said, if anybody can, raise money for him like you're doing, DJ, it's awesome. I think fundraising is one of the most important things we can do. And I was happy to make a donation to Mike the past couple of weeks as well. And Mike got back to me and he said, "Is that all you're going to donate?" I said, "Mike, how could you be so arrogant about this?" And I'm just kidding.
You shouldn't have donated. No, didn't I? Or was that something else? I'm trying to remember.
No, I donated to you. I was just joking. I'm just making it up. But no, man, Mike's been great. And I hate to see any content creator go through this as well. I think sometimes it's unfortunately when we get on YouTube, we gain popularity, and I think there's people that don't like us a lot of times out there, and it's unfortunate. But backing up Mike just to get through all this is the way to go. And I like Mike's attitude about all this. He made a comment recently that he probably could have just settled it out of court, but instead he's like, you know what? I'm just going to walk right through the front door and fight this thing and do whatever I can to do it. And we're happy to help you, Mike.
Thank you, everybody. It's it means a lot. Like, it's like Nan talked about the cost. Like, my attorney's over $1,000.
Holy.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's worth it, but that's the cost. It's so.
It takes.
And I know he's like actually even doing some discounts too, like pro bono. Like he even with one of the bills, he's like, I'm gonna take more off. So I'm still hoping he takes more off, but he has to get approval. Like, so
Yeah.
It sucks. It's just.
It takes a village. In you have a village, Mike. You have such a large following. I will, now that I've kind of reacclimated myself to your case, I will make it a cornerstone of my platform to try to help support you and to also help raise funds for you. I also want to comment that Mazza sounds like he went to a boozy martial arts class, and I want in on that.
You drink, Mazza, while you're doing martial arts?
I don't drink. No, not at all. No, I don't drink at all.
Very peppy.
I haven't.
Yeah, actually,
I
Mazza
only
doesn't
last
drink.
time I had a.
Mazza doesn't drink at all, actually.
No, I don't drink.
Man.
I
Yeah.
barely do
The
myself.
last time I had a sip,
It just sounds like it.
I take a shot of wine. Yeah, I take a shot of wine. Well, I'm post martial arts right now, so my enthusiasm's through the roof after I do martial arts.
That's
So I'm always
amazing.
amped up.
You're on that high, like
Yeah.
the wrestler high. We
It
used to
is,
get out of
yeah.
wrestling practice, and we wouldn't have to smoke weed. We were high just for the workout. After
Yeah,
the
love
workout's
that.
over.
Right. Oh yeah.
I've never heard this side of Mazza. I'm very intrigued. But
Go ahead.
anyway, hey DJ, if you want me to give you my kind of parting thoughts for the best advancement of a defense for Mike, I will do that.
Please.
Here's what I will say. Mike's strongest defense is his anti-slap defense. So Mike, let your attorney know I said that. It's your anti-slap defense. It's your strongest one. If you press that, I think you will be victorious in the end. But ultimately, from a defamation standpoint, you were communicating your opinions, whether you stated them as opinions or not, whether you were kind of made one statement that arguably could have sounded factual or not. These were opinions. You have a public platform and the right to state what you need to state. There was no intent. He's a public or limited public figure, as you've described it, as it would appear from the pleadings. So therefore, you would have had to have conducted yourself with actual malice, which you didn't. And in addition to that, part of what your messaging was petitioning against the government. And therefore, that's covered under 230 immunities that are part of your defenses in this case as well. And then lastly, for tortious interference, because he's arguing that you tortiously interfered with his contracts and his business relationships. There has to be an intent when that's being done under Massachusetts state law. There was no intent to do that. All you were doing, or at least I would argue, was providing your commentary with no intent to harm him for public consumption. And any tortious interference that he's going to argue, he's got to prove that your conduct is what harmed his contracts or his business relationships. And as you stated yourself, his brother got himself into trouble. He himself got himself into trouble. I'd also encourage your lawyer to explore the nonprofit, to really look at its 990 filings to make sure it's on the up and up from a tax filing standpoint. And I don't recall the name of the nonprofit offhand, but if you want me to look up the nonprofit, and we'll start digging into his tax returns and see if there was any financial malfeasance, which is also going to give you leverage in this lawsuit. Either way, you're going to be victorious. It's just a matter of when. So I'm here to support you every step of the way.
Thank you, Nan.
You're welcome.
We got to get Lauren, Katie, and Bia in there.
Yeah, no, I just now while Nan is, I've always thought that basically these types of cases are hard ones to win. Is that
I can barely hear you.
I think it's because Mazza might
Yeah, let me-
might need to mute yourself, Mazza.
I got all right. Go ahead and then unmute when you have something. Go ahead and say, Lauren, what you were saying.
yeah, no, I just wanted to ask Nan while she's here. It was always my understanding that defamation cases are hard to win, period. Is that your understanding as well?
That's true. And they're becoming a little easier, Lauren, in terms of the expansion of social media. So now that social media is more prolific, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, or any other platforms, now there's more of a plethora of choices for people to pursue avenues to say things about people. But yes, generally speaking, they're hard to win. I've had people come to my office saying, I want to sue them for defamation, or this is another part of what I want to include in my lawsuit. And I always tell them, you're not going to be successful there. You really have to show and prove all of the elements of defamation. It's just not worth it, in my opinion, unless you really can show a damages component, a specific damages component to the alleged wrongdoing. And in Mike's case, for example, I just don't, even at first blush, I don't see that he's going to be successful in showing that against Mike as well.
Yeah, and for Mike, I mean, you're coming at this as a journalist. So your job as a journalist is to talk to the parties and to get their take on it and to explore those things. So I think that what you said and what you didn't even touch that. And then, you know, if they're going to be stupid enough to allow this to go on to trial, good luck, because I think the jurors will see that as a very slippery slope, even for them. You know, they're told not to put themselves in, you know, your shoes, but every juror does it. And so they're going to be like, well, what if I said something similar to that, which the things that you're saying you said weren't even as fact. So I think that will never, the jurors will never, you know, agree with the prosecution on it. So I think if they want to take it to trial, I think you have an amazing attitude and go to trial, because no one's gonna think that that's okay and that proves defamation or slander. So.
Thank you. I hope so.
DJ, I did want to say one additional thing, which I was going to say before Mazza joined. As far as defamation lawsuits are concerned, if you all notice in the Karen Reed action, all of the content creators who I have been watching and all of their content I've been consuming, everyone has stated things about the McAlberts or Higgins, or, you know, pick some player in the story. All of the content creators have said things like, oh, come on, you know, Jen McCabe did X, Y, or Z, or we know Brian Albert did this, or Higgins did that. But if you notice in Karen's matter, none of those individuals who allegedly or arguably could argue that they were defamed, because content creators have been saying these things, they're not suing for defamation. And they're not suing for defamation primarily for two reasons. One, because they don't want to sue, because then the content creators are going to go right back at them for discovery, and they can unlock the treasures and Pandora's box and find out how all the sausage is made, which the McCalberts, et cetera, don't ever want to reveal. The other reason that they don't sue is if I recall, there's I think it's a 3-year, might be a 2 or 3 year statute of limitations. I don't remember off the top of my head, for defamation in Massachusetts. In my primary jurisdiction, which is New Jersey, it's 1 year. It has a tight statute of limitations, and many people don't really like to get around to filing for defamation in the time period they're required to, frankly, because you don't even know the full extent of your damages yet. But in this case with Henry Jean-Jacques, if I'm pronouncing his name properly, it sounds like
Harry. Sorry,
is it Harry? I apologize,
yeah.
Mike.
It's all right.
He's, you know, it is my opinion that he's just a regular jerk, not a young jerk. And I think he needs to dismiss this lawsuit because he's pointing the finger at the wrong person. He should look in the mirror, in my opinion, Via. In my opinion, his real problem is with himself, with his nonprofit, with the activities of his brother. But with all of that said, in considering this action, Mike, you might be in it for the long haul. But that doesn't mean if you lose this motion, it is not to disappoint you. Do not be disappointed. The chances of success on a motion like this are slim to begin with. And make sure your attorney pushes that anti-slap defense. And I will help you however I can.
I appreciate that big time. You know, it's funny you mentioned the discovery angle, because one of my co-defendants, Mar Stringer, he's happy he's getting sued. And the reason why is because he feels like he was shut out of the industry by these folks. So he wants the discovery.
Yeah.
He wants to get, so, you know, these guys should be worried too. Like, because you know, so Mar Stringer is like, he's happy about this. He's like, I've been waiting to get these people in court. So
that's the thing.
You know,
when you have the ability to get discovery, same with Karen Reed's case. So there will be more prolific exchange of information in Karen Reed's, the wrongful death action filed against her, in which she's a defendant, but there will be more liberal rules for exchanging and obtaining documents and information. And when she files her civil rights action, which I think we can all predict is going to happen at some point, she will have more liberal opportunities to get information and discovery. Also not have Judge Cannoni cracking the whip and keeping this completely strangled. So the discovery in your case, Mike, is going to be very telling. I'd love to see it when it fully gets developed and exchanged. And that's an opportunity also for your attorney to take the deposition of Jean-Jacques and others to really get to the nitty-gritty of what are his losses. Because sometimes, like I'll just give you guys an example. When I clerked for a judge many, many moons ago, he said to me once, you know, sometimes you slip and fall in the bathtub and you're really hurt, but there's no one to blame. And in this instance, Jean-Jacques sounds like he slipped in the bathtub and feels like he's really hurt, but there's no one to blame. He's pointing the finger at you, and you didn't cause the injury or alleged damages to him. I dare say he didn't have any damages that are attributable to your alleged wrongful conduct in the first.
There we go.
There you go. I'm still talking like a lawyer at almost 10 o'clock.
Yes,
allegedly.
they're asking if you could boost your volume a little bit, Mike.
I think I did. Is it
Thank
better
you.
now? Is it better?
Thank Yeah, Daisy, he tried to boost.
I
it,
turned
so-
it down earlier because I was playing video, and when you turn it up too loud, it's like I forgot to turn it back up. Is it better now, people?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. So as long
Good,
as the
good.
audience is hearing you, thank you. We just got a donation from NH Dude again. Thank you very much, NH Dude. You've been incredibly generous tonight. You've donated before you went to work, after you went to work. I know Mike appreciates it. We could use a couple more donations, and I believe one of our other was it Kara. Somebody donated directly to the Give Send Go, or no, it was Miss Leah. It was Miss Leah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Miss Leah. I know Mike appreciates that. And this is just how we do. This is what we do for, others in the community, and we'll keep doing it. And as a matter of fact, Lady Zelda has joined us in the Karen Reed community. I'm sure you guys are aware of her, and she's also going to do a fundraiser for Mike. So be on the lookout for that, Mike.
Thank you so much. It's great to see the donations come in tonight. We're at over 15,000 now. That's amazing. Thank you.
Awesome. It's our pleasure to do it. And somebody asked, who's going Friday night? I know Bia's going to be there. I don't know anybody else on the panel that's going to be there Friday night.
I'm
for
working.
Turtle Boys.
Unfortunately, I have to. That's the thing. With this lawsuit, I'm just like I need to work all the
Make that
time, and
money.
I got multiple dogs that night. I'm watching. Gotta
Mazza,
do it.
I don't know if he's going to be there. Let me unmute our friend Mazza Media. Are you going to be there by chance on Friday night, Mazza? I can't hear him.
I think we lost him. I think he's drinking again.
Oh,
He doesn't drink though.
all right. Let me. Oh, there he is.
So there we go. More than likely, I'm not going to be there because of work. I got work commitments going late that night as well. So if I end up making it, it might be like a whim where if I feel like I can get to Boston in that time and battle rush hour to get there and there's a ticket available, I'll do it. But unfortunately, it's going to be a real tough night for me, which is sad because I'd like to be there.
And for October
I'm with you,
12th,
Mazza.
do we have to bring wings for the meal of food because they
Well,
don't
you
have
better have
wings at the
wings.
bar, or
No.
you're
Yeah,
gonna be there whether
You know
there's
what?
wings
You know
or
what's
not.
funny is the first thing I looked up on that menu is if they had chicken wings, and they don't. So
They-
I'll just have that pizza.
All right, as long as you're okay with
Pizza's
pizza.
The
Go ahead.
pizza's
Pizza's
pretty
great.
good.
Pizza's fantastic. So I love pizza.
Awesome. All right, so that should be a good time. So we'll be there at that Boston BNI. This is the last one we're gonna plan. There may be more that other people are gonna plan, and we may attend more, but this is the last one, Karen Reed related, Turtle Boy related, that we're gonna plan as a show. And the last one was just you guys made it amazing. I mean, I don't know how many people were there, but we had half the bar easily, if not more. And that was it. That place was huge. I'm not going to name them because they mistreated us so poorly, but Boston Brewing Company has treated us exceptionally. So yeah, so there's that. We're going to do other, and you had another event there, didn't you, Bia?
At Boston Brewing. I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
the brewing company.
Someone
No,
else? No.
we scoped it up the week before, but no, it was just the one event we had there.
Okay. It seemed like someone else got together there, but okay. So yeah, if there's anybody else, if you have anything left that you can donate to Mike tonight, that would be awesome. We've got about 7 minutes left, and boy, I really appreciate Lauren Katie jumping in here on late notice. The pinch hitter. I mean, this woman, I almost said Bucky Dent, but I don't want I don't want Mazza to club me when we get to the Boston Brewing Company, because we've got some historical NBA talk to have, because I love talking old school NBA, old school Celtics. I can go with anybody on that. And I'm a Knicks fan. That should tell you something. And Nan Gallagher pinch hitting. And then Mike, who we didn't think we were going to get Mike, but we got the man himself, Mike. So thanks for jumping on. And
Dent was doing this.
what's that?
You remember that? Bucky Dent. Oh,
Yeah.
I hated him. I was just a little kid.
That's a little bit
You
before
remember
my
that?
time, DJ.
I
when
watched that
happened.
live. I remember that's one of my earliest sports memories. It's like
The Aaron Boone game is the game I remember the most that drove me, very angry. I was very upset about that night, going to bed at like 2 a.m. when that game ended. But hey, I got one thing to say, DJ.
2004.
Patrick
I know.
Ewing. Patrick Ewing.
Ah!
My guy, one of my favorite New York Knicks players. Actually, my favorite
From
New York Knicks player of
Cambridge.
all time is
That's
Patrick
right.
Ewing.
Went to
I
high
used to
school.
live in
Latin.
Cambridge.
Lincoln
Yeah, Cambridge
Latin-
Ridge and
oh, wait a
Latin.
minute. Ridge and Latin High School in Boston. That's right.
He was a fantastic
They also
player.
they also
was.
have it was also the Boston Marathon bomber.
What? Went to
Cambridge Ridge and Latin. I'm sorry. Yeah, I lived in Cambridge back
Oh.
then, so yeah. He was a
I
wrestler.
lived in Somerville, Mikey. I was
Yeah,
right
you
near
did?
you.
Me too. I was right there when but I was between MIT and the Boston Bombers house, so it was like crazy when that happened. I was just but that kid wrestled. He was
The
a wrestler.
younger
Cambridge-
Tsarnaev was
the
the
younger.
wrestler, and the
Yeah.
older one was the boxer, right?
Yeah, Cambridge Ridge and Latin. Yeah, exactly. You got it right.
Yep. I'd rather, but you know what? Plus, we got.
I
Tom
knew some
Scholes
kids who
from
wrestled with
Watertown.
him.
So,
That's so strange. Yeah.
oh man, why was he really good in wrestling? Was he?
He wasn't bad. I don't think
Yeah.
he was like phenomenal, but I think he was pretty good. And they like it's funny because right around when it happened, like you'd start like talking to your neighbors and shit that you didn't because you're in the city, you know, in Cambridge, and it was just we were all on edge, and we were just all like you'd see someone in the neighborhood and you'd be like, any news, like what's going on? And this one kid was like, I wrestled with him. He was on my team. He was the nicest kid. I can't believe, you know what I mean? It was just like, you never know, right? I mean, I don't know. I think the younger brother, the two of them, was like the better of them, and I think that he looked up to his older brother so much that he got brainwashed. I think the other
Radicalized.
brother had some issues, and I think the older brother was jealous of the younger brother because the younger brother was a citizen. The older brother was trying to become a citizen. I think he cooperated with the FBI actually too to try to get that citizenship, and then he had a domestic incident with I believe his wife, and that's why he couldn't become a citizen. So I think that's why that older brother got so radicalized. Actually, it's crazy. The whole thing's crazy. The Boston bomber. I just that was tough. Did you live in Somerville when it happened, B?
No, but my mom was in Watertown when they shut down all the streets.
Oh, yeah.
It was a ghost town. She lived on
Crazy.
Washington Street. It was a ghost town. I was so scared, but I also didn't want to drive down there.
Mhm.
But she was just on lockdown.
Because what happened was when they were looking for him, and nobody knew, you know, who did it, and the helicopters flying everywhere, and then all of a sudden they killed MIT police officer in Cambridge, and this is 2 blocks from my house. And I just came home from work, and I'm like, holy shit! I went out to the scene, and I'm sitting there, and every press, every cop, everybody was there. It was like Fox News was there. You see celebrities there. It was crazy because everyone was looking for this guy. And all of a sudden, the call went out. Watertown. They're in Watertown, and everybody just left. Everyone went to Watertown, and then they caught him. But for the next 3 days, in all that area, the helicopters just never. There was a helicopter over my house, 24/7, and everywhere you looked, there'd be helicopters. Everywhere you looked, there'd be guys with guns out, like machine guns, like cops. Nobody, like you said, nobody on the street. I never saw Cambridge like that, where it was just crazy.
Yeah, there's a recent documentary on Netflix. I think it's called like 7705. Basically, it's about what happened, the same thing that happened in England around, I think it was July 7th of 05. There was a subway bombing, and then they also had the pressure cooker bombs. And so there was a couple of rounds of that. It took them, I think, at least 2 to 3 iterations of them bombing to catch up with them. But the reason that I bring this up is because what Mike said, a lot of those kids that were in the mosques of their school teachers, man, they were such a nice kid. I didn't know, but they're very, very good at hiding. Some of these kids had left the country. They had gone to some terrorist training camps, and I don't remember the countries, if they were Afghanistan or otherwise, that had traveled and then come back to England and this beautiful part of England. And people in the mosque were shocked that these kids had planned, I say kids because some of them are not necessarily kids, that planned
So much
and
easier.
executed.
Yeah. So much easier now for young people to get radicalized, whether it's by, like you said, the Muslims. There's these new cults out there. These, man, I don't know if you follow this shit, but like the 07A, the Order of the Angles and all this other shit. like they're
Talk
recruiting
about
like
that.
50.
What is
Oh,
that?
they're online. They're like cults basically, and they have websites. A lot of federal busts recently on this, and basically what they do is they recruit these kids, these troubled kids, to kill themselves
Really?
and do it on video for their own benefit, so they could sell the videos. Or they start off like kill your cat, like all this crazy shit, or do a mass shooting.
My God.
They're nihilists, basically. They want us. There's a movement called the accelerationists. A lot of them are satanic too, but it's some of it's Christian too. It's weird. It's weird shit. A lot of it's Nazism too involved. There's a lot of, but they're cults. They're basically death cults, and that's and they do it like from these private. What do you call those things? Discords.
Yeah, Discord.
So they recruit the kids in there, and they try to get them. Yeah, and they radicalize them. It's the same thing that Al Qaeda and the jihadists do too. So there's a lot of that.
Bia, tell
Sick.
them about the reality show that you just saw and what the mother said to the kid and that the cat high
Oh,
school catfish.
yes. Oh, yeah. That was a crazy, this teenager started getting texts, awful texts, her and her boyfriend. And then
About
after
her looks, all kinds
about
of
just disgusting things that you would never say to your child, never mind a stranger.
Oh,
Like
you
you
just
would
gave
never.
it away.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, no, it was
parent.
very. After a year investigation, they found out who the culprit was, and you wouldn't believe who it was because
mother?
you just,
That's her
you
mother.
would never expected.
And one of
Gross.
them was she told her to kill herself. Remember
Yeah.
that's what yeah.
Is that
Made fun
catfish
of her
stuff?
looks.
Yes, in Michigan.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I can't remember. Beale City,
Spoiler
Michigan.
alert! Sorry.
Yeah, I'm here thinking the
Yeah.
parents got to protect their kids from the predators, but sometimes it's the parent that's the predator.
It was
That's the thing.
it's on body cam. I realize that, a community like Canton can afford body cams, but strangely enough, Beale City, Michigan could afford them. And when they walked in and started to interview the mom, it was all on body cam, the whole thing. And then she says her daughter was in her room. She had to call the daughter out there. Unknown callers. That's what it called. Thank you, Cheryl. Spoiler alert is right. Nobody wants to watch it. But
No, but it's really good
yeah,
because
it is really good. Yeah.
the other thing is too is that the husband had no idea and she hadn't worked in a year. She said that she didn't send the initial message, but then she just got carried away. How do you get carried away
She lied about that.
insulting
We don't believe
your
her.
daughter
Oh, my
to
God.
a disgusting level? And I just think it comes down to jealousy. I think she was jealous of her daughter and her relationship with her boyfriend and found some kind of sick pleasure in, treating her this way. It's very interesting, but it's also very disgusting too, because
She
Sick.
crushed on the
That is so
boyfriend.
sick.
Thank you very much, TB.
That
You're awesome.
happens too. I've seen that where the parents get jealous of the kids. That's so fucked up, man. You're
it
supposed to like
is.
want to like support your kids, like. Oh,
And
I
Mike,
don't
it
get
was thousands of messages a day. Like we're thinking, oh, maybe she sent like a few messages. Oh, no, actually, it wasn't. How many was it total? Did they say in a day? Did you catch that? Bea?
Oh, there was up to 1,000 a day, and
Yeah.
it would be the middle of the night. It was
Mhm.
all time. I mean, and they never suspected the mom. Poor girl. I know she has a good relationship with the father. The mom was sentenced to 3 years. I think 3 years. She did 19 months. So she's out now and she is part of the documentary as well. But again, just disgusting behavior and something you never expect a mom to do to a child. Usually parents are proud of their kids. You can't wait to tell everybody all their accomplishments, but to actually say those kinds of things to your own child is, that's unforgivable.
Yeah, one of
Yeah.
our colleagues who Nan was on air with, Kate Casey, came on for a couple minutes. She has the show called Reality Life with Kate Casey, and she delves into true crime like we do, docuseries, and obviously reality television. And when I heard that interview, that's what made me go and watch the Netflix show. And it was, it was just jarring and crazy. I don't know if anybody else has seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Now I need to.
Yeah.
All right. So we've done a little over 2 hours. We can't thank all of you guys enough for coming in here and supporting our colleague Mike, because there's a lot there. As we said, Mike, it was kind of in that transition where you were waiting for the link. There's gonna be more of these cases like Karen Reed that are gonna happen because these people are so bold. These morons just can't. That they're so drunk and intoxicated with power and privilege. And when you think of that, you don't think of local and state police officers when we think drunk with power and privilege. I did when I did the Enrique show, if you guys want to hear me rant where I'm literally like screaming, I'm like, this isn't new. This is supposed to not be England where there was privileged families. This is New England, not England. And I was screaming, but these assholes will do something like that again. And that's when you're going to come to the fore and you're going to begin advocating for that case. Because it's going to happen, right, Mike? We're on the clock.
Always. There's always something going on.
It's going to happen again. If they did this to Just en Route, they did this to Sandra Birchmore. Then they did it to O'Keefe a year later, and then they're doing it with Enrique. How much? Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here. You and the other legends, Scott McGinnis, and everybody else that came in the chat, and the official attorney Valhalla Law, and everybody who donated, and everyone who just showed up. We really appreciate that.
I got to jump, DJ.
You got to.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for stopping in, Mazza. We appreciate you, and I'll see you in a month and 2 days.
Sounds good, man. Look
Bye,
forward to
Mazza.
it. Bye, guys.
Bye, Mazza.
Good seeing you
Bye,
guys.
Bye, Mazza.
Mike. Oh, you guys are great. You guys are the best. Love your hat, Nan, by the way. Love your hat too, Mike, of course.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maz.
Cool.
Thank you, Mazza.
You're the man,
Thanks.
Mike. Thank you, DJ, for running
Thank
this
you,
for Mike.
Mazza.
And thank you to everybody that donated for Mike. And we'll continue to help out Mike. And we love Mike. He's our guy. And free Mike Crawford.
Thank you. Thank you, Mazza.
All right, take care, man.
So-
All right, take care, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night, Mazza.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I want to
Mike,
add
is-
a name, DJ. You mentioned all those names.
Sure.
Kelsey FitzSimmons. Like,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
this one, I'm all over this. This is. I'm telling you, this is gonna be a big one. Kelsey FitzSimmons.
Yes.
Talk to
Do you
me.
have a theory on all of it, Mike? Because it's mind blowing to me.
I mean, I haven't looked into every detail, but what I'm finding out and what I'm hearing, and I was at the hearing, was it yesterday? I'm trying to remember when it was. 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah. It was. I mean, they brought her out in shackles. I don't know. It just the whole thing doesn't feel right to me, and what I'm hearing in the background and the whispering and. I'm just being told that wait for court. Like they're basically looking at me and they're saying, Mike, we want to tell you everything, but just wait for court. It's going to be worth it. That's what they're telling me. They're like telling me fireworks are going to go off. And we don't want to give them the heads up. So
Oh yeah.
I'm showing up for court. I hope
Melanie's
everyone does.
been breaking it down. So
Yeah,
I'm
Melanie's
up to
doing
date
a
on
great job.
everything. Yeah.
The next court date, it's October 7th.
Mhm.
So she has a probate hearing for her, to get her child back, but the Superior Court is October 7th. I don't know the time yet, but I hope people are there. And there's parking down there. Like if you drive, it's downtown Salem. There is street parking. It's hard to find, but there's a big garage, MBTA garage that you can park in. And you can also take the train or the bus there. It's right at the MBTA station, basically 1 block away. So it's pretty easy to get to downtown Salem. October 7th.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I think you did brief me on this one, Bia, about
I did.
FitzSimmons. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. I think yesterday.
I mean,
you gave me that.
the big thing is like these cops, they knew there was a gun in the house. They didn't secure it.
And she had just gotten it back.
Yeah.
They knew.
And they knew. And so like, what the hell are they doing? And then you claim that she fired the gun at you, but no bullet. That's kind of hard fetched. And then he shoots twice. He shot her twice. And then the cops all say different things about what they heard and what was said, right?
Yeah.
Like, so this just even on the official stuff, it's just so like, and why were they doing it that way? Like, it's just the whole thing. And there's a big time conflict, in my opinion, conflict of interest now because
Absolutely.
they shot her, so their police department in town are on the hook if they're found liable for shooting her. So now that's why they're charging her. And they didn't charge her for, she's not getting indicted for attempted murder. It's a lesser charge. So they couldn't even indict her on what they wanted. So I think, the family too, I feel like the family thinks that this might go away because they don't want to be embarrassed if it does go to trial.
Yep.
But at the same time, they're going to drag it on. They'll drag it on for years. They'll make her go through the gauntlet for years. And I just hope people support her, like donate to her fund. She's got a GoFundMe too. So I hope people, or Give Send Go, I think it is. I hope people donate to her and show up October 7th,
And Mike, if you look at the police report, the officer's response to her going upstairs and actually pointing the pew at herself was not even like put the gun down. They usually give warnings. If that gun was directed at the officer, he would have been asking for her to put it down, but he didn't. He just went in for the shoot when she was pointing it at herself. So that's the key thing. His response was not one of having it pointed at an offer.
No, I don't have it in front of me, but I believe he did say that he said that to put it down, but none of the other officers said that, right? Am I right on that?
I thought it wasn't said, but I guess we can go back and
yeah, we'd have to look at it. But I'm pretty sure the other officers said that he didn't say that. So that's a thing. Like when the officers are all conflicting and there's no body camera, we have like 4 different versions of the story. We got her version, we got his version, and then we got like 2 or 3 other cops' version, and none of them match up. So, like,
they just got to not cover up. They just got to not cover up. And Lauren, this is close to Lauren Cady, and she's going to be familiar with this case. Our senior airman Roger Fortson from Herbert Field, Florida, my former duty station where I spent a bunch of my career, shot by an Okaloosa County sheriff at his door during the daytime in broad daylight, where he had a 9mm taped to, he basically pressed it against his thigh when he answered the door because he was FaceTiming with his girlfriend in Atlanta. And the police officer is all on body camera. You can watch the approach. You can watch him bang on the door. And it sounds like a drug den bust. You know what that sounds like, Mike? When they're like, hey, sheriff's
bang,
office.
bang,
and
bang.
That's what they're doing instead of knock, 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 or pressing the damn doorbell. They alarm the kid, and he thought, now remember, this is a big gun culture in Fort Walton Beach. Lauren Cady knows this. He was an airman at Herbert Field. He was an airman on AC-130 gunships. That should tell you something more about the culture. Everybody in the gunship squadron has guns and goes shooting. So he answered the door when someone's going bang, bang, bang. You see my computer vibrate.
Robbery. Yeah.
Yes, he thinks it's so. He answers with a 9mm in his leg. This sheriff's deputy Eddie Duran goes boom, 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 fires like 5 shots into him, and then says, "Drop the gun." The kid is saying that I dropped the gun as he's bleeding out on the floor. And Sheriff Eric Aiden, to his credit, there's no cover up. There's no. I mean, there's. I'm not going to go into a couple other details I heard about this case, that a couple deputies, a couple of BS things that they put out in the local community, but they knew the Air Force was on this all the way, and they went and they arrested that, fired him, and then arrested him. What was it, 2-3 days later, Lauren? What have you heard about that case?
I mean, the community was pissed. It was so blatant. I mean, it was just awful. Terrible.
Yeah, he had cover.
Body camera. Thank God they have the body camera.
Have you seen it, Mike? Because I can send you.
No, I haven't.
I'll send it to you. But it's
I'm
quite
glad
terrible.
they had a body camera, because this Kelsey case, they don't have a body camera, and that would mean a lot if they knew what actually happened. I got to say too, on the Kelsey stuff too, I have a lead on something that was kind of wild that I'm not going to talk about right now, but I like the stuff people won't tell me, but actually what I did get, there was something I did get told. So I'm just saying, I think that one's one people should focus on. Kelsey FitzSimmons, the police officer that was shot.
Break some news, Mike. What do you got?
No, I can't say. I'm not telling anybody. No,
I mean, if you've been sworn to
time and
secrecy,
place,
then-
time and place.
Yeah.
I'm just
protect your
saying, like,
sauces.
there's some stuff that's gonna come.
Okay. Good stuff. We'll be there, and I'm glad you may have found another case even earlier than we thought. Thank you everybody for coming to support this and coming to support Mikey. And Mike, we will be there for you, man.
Thank you so much, everybody, for like Dan. Thank you for the huge donation again, and everything tonight. And
My pleasure.
yes, and then with like Lauren, I thank B and DJ and Mazza and everybody and everyone who donated too. I'm so thankful. Sarah Shock and Hara also called in. Thanks to her. I don't think I missed anyone. That's everybody, right?
That is everybody that came
Yeah.
tonight. Yep. All donations.
Thank you.
go
I want to thank
you.
everybody.
So
Yeah.
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 Like,
It's,
We've got you, Mike. It's going to be
Yes.
okay.
it makes a
Yeah.
difference. It does, like Dan said earlier too. There's like a mental aspect and a spiritual aspect, a stress aspect that affects your whole life. It does. You can't even. I always say I know it's going to be fine, and I know the details of it, but still, you can't help but it's the uncertainty. It's not knowing if you're going to get a fair shake too. Like
Right.
a lot depends on the judge. So we'll see.
I got a good feeling. But
Me too.
at some point, I'm going to reach out to you. We'll have a chat.
Definitely.
I have some things I want to discuss about it.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Great.
I want to thank everybody. Thank you so much, everybody watching, sharing, posting, and donating. It really does mean a lot.
Mike, Lady Zelda wants to know, when is your birthday?
April.
You don't April? Okay. All right. That's all she needs to know. Thank you.
Oh yeah, she's probably gonna do a reading for you, Mike, because she has a tarot reader and the psychic and so forth. So she's worked with the police and everything else. DJ, you all remember everyone. Nice to see you.
Does she need an exact date then? Is that what she needs?
Nope. She just
No,
wanted your
April?
sign.
Oh, it's Taurus.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. I love it, man. What a great community that we're part of. We feel really, really blessed to be part of the Massachusetts Karen Reed community. So on behalf of Mike and Nan Gallagher and Lauren, Katie, and Bia, this is DJ saying peace out, one love, and we will see you down the road.